All right. First and foremost, I'm going to say all praises be to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rukah, Kodash. And I'm going to say double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the sincere elect, teaching the truth in faith and sincerity through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rukah, Kodash. Quick topic I want to speak on, man. And this topic is based upon this video here. All right, I saw of Tucker Carlson on Fox News, and basically this video just further shows you why, the children of Esau, right, the seed of the wicked according to the scriptures, they need to be taken out of authority. But then he even expounds as to why we're in slavery and how this place is completely in darkness. According unto the scriptures, you have something called the mark of the beast, but then as well you got a thing called the image of the beast, right? And the image is what? His doctrines, his philosophies, right? Which really, like a person that takes the MOTB, that will also be a person that accepts the image and like a system and a doctrine that drinks of that wine, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like, us in this truth, right? Because we have faith in the Lord, right? We actually do what the scripture says to the best of our ability, right? And accept the true righteous way and doctrine that is written. So if we do this on the side of righteousness, people do the same thing on the side of wickedness, man. Right? And this video here is gonna expand on that. So I'm basically gonna do like a commentary on this video and bring out some scriptures.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Last year, unbeknownst to pretty much nobody, a woman in Brooklyn started a Twitter account that was comprised almost solely of videos of liberals talking about themselves. So the concept was very simple. Find interesting tape that had already been uploaded to the internet by the people who made it, and then repost that tape. There was no editing of it, no special effects. There was very little editorial content. The idea was to let activist types describe in their own words what they believe, unfiltered. The woman who created it called that account Libs of TikTok. Libs of TikTok now has more followers than the entire population of the state of Wyoming. Libs of TikTok's audience dwarfs the nightly viewership on CNN. So it was quite successful, by definition. The question is why, and here's why. It turns out that as repellent as academic lifestyle liberalism may seem to you as an observer, the reality of it, as described by the people who actually believe this stuff, is even worse than you ever imagined. It's really beyond belief, both idiotic and disgusting. It's like watching someone eat roadkill. You feel nauseous, but you can't turn away. So Libs of TikTok found all kinds of tape on the internet, but they found a bunch of selfie-style videos from the publicly available social media accounts of teachers. They didn't snoop. They just pulled what people had already posted. Here's some of what they found.
Hi, my name's Az, and I'm a preschool teacher. Recently, we started wearing pronoun pins, and the kids get to pick a new pronoun pin every. We have some that pick like she, her every single day, and we have some that change it up.
So I'm a non-binary preschool teacher, and my kids know I'm non-binary. They know I'm not a girl or a boy. I use they, them pronouns in the classroom. We work on it. Not all the kids get it. That's okay. And I go by Mix Gray in the classroom, not Miss or Mr.
Man, y'all thought me teaching the children about me being poly was crazy. But not only that, but they also know that I'm gender fluid.
I'm going to give you...
Bruv, like, these are the people who are teaching, like our children, man. Right? Like in these schools, man. This is why the scripture says. This, I believe it's in Sirach 30. Right, and one, it says, Ecclesiasticus 30 and 1, it says, he that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy in him the end, man. Right? And let me read that again. It says, he that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end, man. And in this kingdom, man, you know, for Akim who have children, like I personally don't have any children, but for any Akim that, you know, that's around me that have children, they always tell why, you know, it's important to like check what they're learning at school, check what they're spoken to you about school, and basically teaching them to what's right. But then as well, when they make mistakes and go off to chastise them, man, because these children out here are fucking open onto these elements out here, man, right, of wickedness, man. Like, well, you know, a gender fluid person is someone who wakes up and decides in the morning, okay, today like I'm a woman. So today I'm gonna wear a dress. I'm a woman. Then the next morning he decides I'm a man. You know, wearing some Timberland boots. You know, going into the men's bathroom. And then the next day he switches up and goes into the women's bathroom. And that's what's going on out here, man. That's why it's important to teach our children the right way. He that chastiseth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice him among, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance. And yeah, man, for again, you know, there's brothers I know who have sons that are basically, you know, have been growing up from a child being taught this, you know, taught the truth, man. Right? And hey, you know, and for Akim that are involved in stuff, right? You know, we always say, yeah, man, you know, my son's learning this, my son's learning that, and it's good, man. But it says, he that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice with him, man. And it's true, man, because, you know, like, if you have a son that you teach things to, or even a daughter, right? When they go to school and Esau tries to push certain things in their mind or make them eat pork, right? They say no, look, man, I'm against that, and it upsets them, man. But hey, that's why the scripture says, train up a child in the way, you know, that he should go, and basically when he's old he will not depart, man. That's why Esau really wants to attack our children, man. You know, to really get into their minds and destroy their minds, and that's something they did to the tribe of Gad, man. Right? They would basically take their kids from their tribes, cut their hair, cut their nails, and change their names and force them to speak English, man. Right? It's to try and make them depart from the way of their fathers, man. Let's go back to the video.
I'm gonna give you my...
Man, y'all thought me teaching the children about me being poly was crazy. But not only that, but they also know that I'm gender fluid.
And that's why Ecclesiastes also says what? Verse 7, oppression maketh a wise man mad. Like, if you speak out against this, people speak against you. People call us wicked. What is that, man? When you really think about it, bruv. Don't even make no sense, bruv.
I'm gonna give you my explanation about what it means to be transgender as well. So when babies are born, the doctor looks at them and they make a guess.
But not only that, but they also know that I'm gender fluid.
I'm going to give you my explanation about what it means to be transgender as well. So when babies are born, the doctor looks at them and they make a guess about whether the baby is a boy or a girl.
Oh, did you just hear that? Like, this is the image of the bee, man. Like, did you just hear what he said, bruv? This is too much, man.
Man, y'all thought me teaching the children about me being poly was crazy. But not only that, but they also know that I'm gender fluid.
I'm going to give you my explanation about what it means to be transgender as well. So when babies are born, the doctor looks at them and they make a guess about whether the baby is a boy or a girl. Kids as young as 3.
This is why this place got to be destroyed, man. This, come on, man. Let me get some more scriptures, man. Right, this is Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. 16, right, it says, when the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall. And come on, man. Even in Maccabees 1 and 14, it speaks about after Alexander died and his generals came to pass, and it talks about that wicked root Antiochus Epiphanes, right, and how evils was multiplied in the earth, man. And come on, man. This is what they're teaching our children. That when babies are born, a doctor gives a guess. How can you, bro? Like a guess is something you're unsure about. Like I guess that I check the you know what I mean. Like guess will be like, let's say you've ordered some food online. And it says it'll be here in 15 minutes. 15 minutes comes, it's not here. Okay, I guess it may be here in 5 minutes or something. It may come in 2 minutes, but it might come in 5 minutes. It might come in 15 minutes. That's what like a guess is. Or a person might say, guess what country I'm from. Right? You'd be like, oh, I guess that you might be from Poland or from Ireland. But guess what? The person might be Spanish. So to say babies are born and you guess their gender, what are you talking about? That is bullshit. The child is born and you can see they have a penis or a V. It's clear. It's before your face. There's nothing to guess. But guess what? This is part of his wine, man. This is part of the image of the NWO, right? People are going to be prepared to accept this shit.
Kids as young as 3 and 4. I'm going to give you my explanation about what it means to be transgender as well. So when babies are born, the doctor looks at them and they make a guess about whether the baby is a boy or a girl. Kids as young as 3 and 4 are actually aware of their gender identity, even if they don't have the language for it. To say that pre-K through 3rd grade are not ready for such topics is actually internalized homophobia and transphobia.
And now it's being called internalized transphobia or homophobia, bro. A phobia is something you're afraid of. I'm not afraid of trying. Well, shit, you know what I mean. But it's more like it's abominable. It isn't like I'm afraid of. I'm looking at you like you're actually abominable. You're an abomination. That's a difference. Probably gonna take this video down, man.
So those are the people in charge of tending to your small children's minds while you're at work. Now, maybe you agree with the views you just heard. Maybe you think that doctors just guess at the sex of newborns. Maybe you don't agree. It almost doesn't matter. Either way, you have a right as a parent to know what these people are teaching to your children. And yet, before Libs of TikTok, there was not an easy way to find out what they were teaching. You had to take the teacher's word for it. Well, it turns out there are an awful lot of videos like this out there. Libs of TikTok found a lot of them. Here, for example, is the scene at one private school in Washington, D.C.
So like now they're getting like institutionalized and bugged out with what BLM, right? Which that's just wolves in sheep's clothing. First of all, it started off with Black Lives Matter. Then 2 weeks later it was Black Trans Lives Matter. Then the Black Trans Lives Matter, all lives matter. You know. Then now it's just getting out of hand, man. Well, because it's Esau. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increases, man.
Okay, so let's say you're paying $45,000 a year to send your kids to some overrated, mediocre private school in the District of Columbia. You think everything's fine. You pull up Libs of TikTok and you find out what's actually happening in your kid's classroom. What's wrong with that? This is journalism. No news organization in America has done more to reveal the reality within American schools than Libs of TikTok. We aired a number of their videos on the show, and we are grateful for their reporting. It was far more straightforward than anything you're going to find in the New York Times or the Washington Post because it wasn't accompanied by a lot of bloviating. They just showed you the tape and you could decide. That's journalism. Here's another piece of tape that Libs of TikTok unearthed that amazed and horrified us. This is a teacher screaming at a student for refusing to wear a mask.
You're playing? Are you playing? No, I'm not. Otherwise, I will call the police. Oh. I'm serious.
I hear my...
Yeah,
Oh, you're serious?
Yeah, I am serious, man. I am had enough of it. I knew you were going to take off your mask the moment I turned the corner. So enjoy BIA.
Now, person that's talking like this, like so the kid's wearing a mask where he's just under his nose and he's getting cursed out like that. Now that's because they've accepted the image of the bee, man. Right, this is Psalms 82 and 5. Right, they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth is out of course. So the earth is out of order, man. And these people walk on in darkness, man. Here it is, like this guy actually thinks what he's doing is actually righteous. You know, wear your mask. And I guarantee you that same individual, man, right? That same individual, he has, you know, faith in this LGBTQ whole system and all that shit, you know. And I guarantee you, he's maxed, right? So, and I guarantee you, well, I can't guarantee, but he's more likely gonna take the MOTB. You know, you see, it's a part of his image, it's part of his wine, right? Scripture speaks about Babylon being a golden cup in the Lord's hand, which has made the whole earth drunken. And Revelation 17 speaks about Babylon, the mother of harlots and abominations in the earth. Now, mother is what gives birth unto life. You know, gives birth unto to kids and children. You see, so Babylon the Great, America, gives birth to abominations in the earth, man, and that abomination spreads. All right, all these doctrines and wickednesses, it comes from their think tanks and stuff, but it's pushed heavily by America, that whore that goes around having sex with all these nations, giving them STDs and shit.
BIA. That's in school suspension where you have to sit in a room with the military guy all day. Because because you're a piece
Called him a piece of shit because his master's under his nose. That's what's going on out here, man.
I'm gonna call the police, he screeches, because the kid has the mask beneath his nose. Now again, maybe you're okay with your kids being taught by emotionally incontinent nutcases like that. Maybe you're not. But you probably ought to know either way, so you can see why libs of TikTok quickly became so very popular. You didn't have to wade through some long editorial to find out what was actually happening. You could see the raw video, and again, you could assess it for yourself. Millions of parents are grateful for that. So was Christina Pushaw, who's the press secretary for the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. It was partly in response to videos that she saw on libs of TikTok that Florida ultimately banned public school teachers from lecturing kindergartners about sex. That's now law. It's one of the most popular laws in the state. The majority of Democrats support it. So libs of TikTok was getting results, as good journalism does. Not bad for a Twitter feed. So, of course, that Twitter feed had to be shut down. The Biden administration and its many servants in the news media set to work. The neoliberal slander machine Media Matters published 4 separate hit pieces on libs of TikTok in just the past 3 weeks. It was trafficking hate for allowing liberals to talk about themselves. It was anti-gay. As if the site was attacking anyone. Certainly it was not attacking gays. It was just playing tape of people talking about themselves in their own words, video that they uploaded. Well, Twitter could not stand this. They shut down the account entirely twice. They suspended it. One of those suspensions came after a complaint from a Harvard law instructor called Alejandra Caraballo. Quote, "My report on libs of TikTok violating Twitter rules got them suspended," he bragged. Yet the woman who runs libs of TikTok kept going. So ultimately, Jeff Bezos weighed in. Bezos' personal newspaper, the Washington Post, decided to harass the family of the woman who operates libs of TikTok. They couldn't find her, so they went after her family. The Post sent what it calls its tech columnist, Taylor Lorenz, to show up outside a home that belongs to one of the woman's relatives. And then Lorenz set about trying to find the woman herself. She couldn't. She sent a direct message on Twitter to someone who turned out to be not that woman, who had nothing to do with the account whatsoever. But because she did that, we know what Taylor Lorenz was saying. Here's what she said, quote, "You're being implicated in starting a hate campaign against LGBTQ people."
You see?
Right.
And then even, that point there even makes me think of this. This is, I'm going to read this first scripture here. Let me read this first one. Amos 5 and the 10th verse, right? It says, "They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly." Right? And that's an example of that, man. Right? And obviously that starts off with us, and that brings us to in Amos 8:11, I believe. It talks about what? The famine of the word, man. Because now when you speak truth, it's called a hate crime. It's called a hate crime when you speak the truth. When it's like, bro, what are you talking about? That's bullshit. Here it is, right? Teaching your son or daughter that a man and a woman make babies and are supposed to have sex and get married and build a family. That's now a form of hate speech. Teaching them that the traditional way of marriage is how to be. Now that's called hate speech. Now that's anti this, that's anti that. You see? These are all structures and elements that add what? To the image of the BEAST, man. Right? That wine. That's why the scripture says, anyone who worship his image and receive his mark, man. Right? MARK. Right? So it's like, a person that gets the MARK, like the MARK is like a consummation, right, of them being totally in slavery and worshiping this system, man. Right? But hey, when this global financial system comes to a crash, people gonna just, just say, look, man, I'm giving up my soul completely. I'm bowing down straight. You see, being a slave and submitting starts in the mind, and then it gets consummated with an act. You see, remember during the time of Maccabees, they was trying to force the men to get to put pig on an altar and stuff like that, and the father of the Maccabees was there as he was being approached, and then there was Jake that came round the corner from like in the background with a pig, and he was gonna put that like an altar, man. So he was already a slave in his mind, right? And now he was about to do the consummation act of sacrificing that pig. This is what the people are gonna be doing now. They're gonna bow, but which really is not them accepting. It's really the Lord put the Spirit in there onto. But I'm just gonna say in these times, they're gonna set this system and be consummated by taking that mark, man.
Campaign against LGBTQ people. Right. A hate campaign. So here you have Taylor Lorenz, who's effectively acting as the Stasi for the deep state, trying to intimidate a private citizen into silence. And this morning, she gave it her best shot. The Washington Post published a piece by Lorenz linking to the name, the physical address, and the real estate licensing information of the woman who runs Libs of TikTok. After the Post published the...
And then that just proves what we've been saying. Anytime we say that we're being watched and blah blah blah, it's true. It's true. See, but us, the Spirit of the Lord is keeping us out there, teaching until the time.
Article. The woman behind Libs of TikTok went into hiding. That was, of course, the whole point of the exercise. People know where she lives because the Washington Post linked to it, so she had to leave. Now, Taylor Lorenz, of all people, knew this would happen. She knew what she was doing when she wrote the story. She was trying to shut this woman up. It was just a couple of months ago, you might remember, that Lorenz herself complained on television that she was being harassed and that no one under any circumstances would be allowed to show up at her home. Here she is.
Trolls live everywhere. Can you just explain what it's like? Can you draw a picture of what it is like when a surge of harassment hits?
It's horrifying, and it's not just me either. They immediately dox you and go after your family members. They try and look up everyone who's ever, been associated with you. And it's just completely overwhelming and terrifying.
Oh, they go after your family members. Can we put that picture back up? Can you show them do that? This is Taylor Lorenz outside the family members of the woman who run Libs of TikTok the other day, harassing the family members. Now, the tape you just saw comes from...
You see? That's Esau being a hypocrite, man. Here it is. They accuse us of hate speech, right? And like in hate crimes, but then they talk about us in complete lies. They call us pedophiles. They call us this. We call us this. They say we're gonna do this. They say we're gonna do that. But when we expose them, they be getting upset, man.
In January. Then in April, just 8 days ago, Taylor Lorenz, who cannot stop talking about herself, drowning in Lake Me, cried on television because she'd been criticized online. Watch.
I've had to remove every single social tie. I had severe PTSD from this. I contemplated suicide. It got really bad. You feel like any little piece of information that gets out on you will be used by the worst people on the internet to destroy your life. And it's so isolating. And terrifying. It's horrifying.
Oh, boo-hoo.
I'm so sorry. It's overwhelming. It's really hard.
It's really hard to be from Greenwich and work for the Washington Post. It's hard. No power. But if you really think it's hard, if you're really against that kind of behavior, why are you engaging in it at scale? So a few weeks later, after shooting that performance, Taylor Lorenz shows up at the door, and there's the picture right there, of a relative of the private citizen who posts videos that Taylor Lorenz's bosses don't like. And then she posts that person's identity online. So this is obviously an intimidation campaign designed to shut down a highly effective Twitter feed. But take one step deeper into the story and ask yourself, did Taylor Lorenz, the woman you just saw crying on TV because she has PTSD, did she really do the reporting here? Did she really track down the personal information of the woman who runs Libs of TikTok? Please. Of course not. She couldn't. Taylor Lorenz is not a reporter. Apart from whining about herself on television, she has no skills. She couldn't do a weather forecast in a rainstorm. She's not a journalist. She's merely a receptacle for information that other people gather for their own ends, a willing receptacle. So where did she get this information? Who gave her the identity of the woman who runs Libs of TikTok? Well, actually, we don't have to guess because today's Washington Post story answers that question. The Post piece tells us that information came from a man called Travis Brown. Travis Brown runs the, quote, Travis Brown hate speech tracker, which uses a variety of proprietary methods to reveal personally identifying information of private citizens who stray from the approved storyline.
You see, so even here, it's called the hate speech tracker, where these companies are able to use their sources and resources to track down and find out the information of people that so-called push hate speech, man. And it's gonna say, this guy's gonna say that basically this particular company is funded by the government in Germany. You see, and that's why the scripture says, right? All right, this is let me just read it, man. Amos 8:11, it says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, how about Shai, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst of water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. And they shall wander from sea to sea, from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it." That's what's gonna happen, man. Right? And you know, now this idea of hate speech and, you know, hate speech. You see, that's Esau, man. He appears as a lamb, or humble, but he's speaking as a dragon. He comes all humble as a sheep, but he's a serpent. You see, so he comes. Oh, you know, he must fight against hate speech, but then what he's doing is now using that as a means to take away rights. You know, to clamp down on freedom of speech, you see? And that's Esau, man. Comes all humble. Oh, yes, let us speak against hate speech. But what he's really doing is taking away rights, man.
Personally identifying information of private citizens who stray from the approved storyline. Now, who pays for all this? That's the question. Well, the Travis Brown hate speech tracker is funded by something called the Prototype Fund. Here's how the Prototype Fund describes the point of Travis Brown's project. Quote, "Prominent right-wing extremist accounts on Twitter and Facebook have developed a well-documented pattern to distribute controversial and extremist content to their followers and then delete it before moderators have the opportunity to react to it. In other words, before it can be censored. Archiving is an important element in counteracting this behavior and has in many cases led to prominent victories in the fight against the supreme extreme right." Extreme right. So not all hate speech is the same. The hate speech tracker does not target the hate speech of BLM rioters or Antifa. No, only enemies of the Biden administration and the guys at Davos. How do they do it? Well, Brown's methods, according to him, included using automated software to save user account names and social media posts long after they have been deleted. So there's no hiding from these people. Now, that appears to be a violation of Twitter's terms of service. Not that we care, because they don't care. We reached out to Twitter about this. Isn't this a violation? They ignored us. They suspended our account. What's interesting, though, is that Travis Brown himself appears to be a former Twitter employee. So again, who's paying for this? Well, a foreign government is paying for it. The Prototype Fund gets its money not from private donors, but from the government of Germany.
You see, so that's an example, man. Before, we've always said these governments, people are watching us. What is an example, right? This particular group, right, is funded by the government of Germany to basically track people down that speak against this system.
Germany's Federal Ministry of Education. It says so right on the website. In other words, what happened to the woman who runs Libs of TikTok, her life being destroyed, was not the work of Taylor Lorenz, the fearless journalist who cries on TV from her PTSD. No, it was a foreign intelligence operation designed to silence and intimidate an American citizen. Wait, is that legal? Did the Biden administration have any role in this particular intel op?
That's why the scripture speaks about what he called first of all, it's called what the BEAST, man. It's a system, which is what NATO and the EU, which are the main nations that will push what the NWO. They all come together like an agreement and push the same agenda. It's spoken about in Psalms, the 64th chapter, right? The secret council of what? The wicked, man, right? So they all come, bring together their plans and agendas and push forth for the same thing, man. So that's why even though, this particular example, they're active in America, right, is being funded by the government of Germany.
Why is the German government trying to shut down an American Twitter account posting about American teachers? And since she was the willing recipient of this information from a foreign government designed to destroy an American citizen, why hasn't Taylor Lorenz at the very least registered under the Foreign Agent Registration Act, FARA? We seem to remember quite a bit of talk about this over the last few years. We think there was an impeachment trial over it. Someone went to prison because of it. But Taylor Lorenz can take information from a foreign government to crush an American citizen, clearly as part of an intel operation, and she's a journalist in good standing at the Jeff Bezos' newspaper? Lots of questions here. We hope we can get to the bottom of all of it.
Can, man. So as you see from that video, that was a quick kind of commentary. He was saying a lot of things in there that pertain to the scriptures and prophecy, man. Right? And that's why, at the end of the day, the scripture says, for the elect's sake, these days shall be shortened, man. So these days are being shortened, man, and prophecies are speeding up and coming to pass before our eyes. And it's only a matter of time the children of Esau, Edom, get taken out of rulership, man. Babylon the Great, which is America, gets destroyed, right? Thus ending the power of Esau ruling upon this earth before they go into slavery. And then, 12 tribes of Israel are going to rule, man. Scripture says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. Right? The scripture calls Esau the border of wickedness. Everywhere he goes, wickedness increases. So that's why we have to keep, exposing them, man. Right? So with that, I'm going to end with 2 Thess 2. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. Right? And the wicked is being exposed, man. The wicked is children of Esau, and Esau are the people who go back to the seed of Esau, which is widely known today as the so-called white man. Right, he says his coming is after the working of Satan, man, and we're seeing this, all this new age doctrine and shit. That's all the working of Satan, man, and that's why he's gonna be taken down, and that's why it's starting off with us teaching this word and consuming it. Right, so with that, I'm going to say all praises be to how about Shema Shah, about Shema Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Until next time, I'm going to say Shalom.